And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 544. And happy Friday to all of you. I hope you are having a wonderful day. It has significantly cooled down here where I am. Not uncomfortably so, but it's nice and there's a nice wind. I just wish it wasn't as humid as it was or as it is. But it is much less hot today. So I hope that that's happening for people elsewhere in the world, because I know it is hot. It's hot. But you know what? I would rather be hot than too cold. I hate winter. We all know that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. I've got some interesting stories that kind of run the gambit today. We've got a murder story. We have a political story, and we have a couple of disability stories as well. So we have kind of everything, really, except science. I didn't really find any good space or anything stories, except the James I saw from a YouTube creator that I follow who's very much into space, that one of the James Webb Telescope mirrors was hit by a meteoroid. So that's distressing. Notification went out this time. Yay! Hello, Costin. Hello, Elwin. And hello, Pincalo. Glad everyone is trickling in. This is good. This is good. Yeah, I stopped multi-streaming this to Twitch because I was noticing, and Pincalo was also telling me, he told me that he wasn't getting notified, and I noticed that the view count was about 75% less. So between those two factors, I've decided to just put this up on YouTube again. So coffee. Okay. Grillin' Pirate Pete. Welcome. Day off in the cove. Nice. Ooh. You're smoking some meat and drinking some rum. That sounds awesome. I did grab the stories from Twitter. I grabbed 2 of them. I didn't see the other 2. I grabbed the one that I'm about to read and then the one you sent me from this morning, but I didn't see anything else before the link you sent me to the Sitch and Adam super chat stream. Where am I here? I need to share the screen. So I have those 2 from you, and then I have 2 that I think 2 or 3 that I have. 3. That's what it is. I have 3 stories and from that I found, and 2 that I grabbed from you that I saw that were new. Okay, so I'm sure some of you at least are familiar with the show Riverdale. I, however, have not watched it. But apparently, one of the Riverdale actors kind of did a matricide. So, yeah, we're going to read about that. So this is a Toronto Sun article, I believe. Here is the headline. Riverdale actor murdered mom at piano, then planned to kill Trudeau. I'm not going to say what I want to say because I will lose my channel, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Ryan Grantham confessed to murdering his mom and then filmed her lifeless body. All right then. This is from Brad Hunter, the crime columnist that we sometimes read here on this channel. Former child actor Ryan Grantham has been charged with the second-degree murder of his mother, Barbara Wake. That's the that is the photo here. A former actor on Riverdale and Diary of a Wimpy Kid was coming off the rails when he shot his mother in the head while she played the piano to keep her from seeing him murder Justin Trudeau. You heard that right, but let's read it again. A former actor on Riverdale and Diary of a Wimpy Kid was coming off the rails when he shot his mother in the head while she played piano to keep her from seeing him murder Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I'm sorry, but and there's going to be people here. We are going to see plenty in coming weeks and months about this, and it's all going to make him. I get. This is my prediction right now before it even happens. Okay, and this is obviously it's horrible that he murders his mother. Right? That goes without saying. But this is going to be spun into Ryan Grantham was, bombarded by right-wing propaganda about how horrible Justin Trudeau is. And he was brainwashed, and he was already mentally fragile, and he was brainwashed by this, horrific right-wing propaganda, and it drove him insane to the point where he killed his mother before he would then journey to kill the prime minister. It has absolutely nothing to do with the actual state of what's going on in the country, and the fact that more and more people are becoming more and more enraged by what is happening in our government. That's not saying that everyone's going to go and kill their parents and then kill a government official. That's an extreme example, right? But the anger at our government, no matter where you are ideologically right now, is really bad. And it's getting to the point where you can't spin this anymore to just be a right-wing extremist issue. Right? There is a problem going on in our government. Does that excuse this man from killing his mother? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Throw his ass in jail. But you cannot spin this, like, we can't keep spinning this as right-wing propaganda thing. Hey, Lord Famine. I heard about this. I didn't realize this guy was an actor. There are two before the Stitch and Adam link. Okay. I will go and check. Well, that was an interesting sentence to come in on. Oh, hello, Moon-based security. What a Fruit Loop. Yeah. You're missing the... there was... Oh. Won't be here long describing FF14 again. Oh. Hello, Fury Kitten. Wow. Everybody's coming in. This is awesome. So let's keep going in here. Oh, stupid ads. I don't care. Stop it. The bizarre details came to light during sentencing submissions in a British Columbia courtroom this week. In March, Ryan Grantham, 24, pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the March 31st, 2020 murder of his mother, Barbara Wake, in their Squamish home. The crime carries a mandatory life sentence. The Crown is seeking 17 to 18 years of parole ineligibility. He put the crosshairs on the back of her head, closed his eyes, and pulled the trigger, prosecutor Michaela Donnelly said. Wow, that's pretty cold-blooded. Grantham had roles in Diary of a Wimpy Kid and the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. His last acting credit was a 2019 episode of Riverdale. His road to murder was punctuated with madness, court heard. He had rehearsed his mom slaying and even made videos of his plans. Then how is this second-degree murder? How the fuck is this second-degree murder? Why? Why is this second-degree murder? There's plenty of evidence that if there's videos of him rehearsing this, that is first-degree murder. That is premeditated. What the fuck? Come on. That is actually, I'm floored. In footage he shot following the brutal killing, Grantham took one final star turn. He confessed to killing his mom and then filmed her lifeless body. Yeah, fucking premeditated murder. What is the Crown thinking? The former child actor admitted to cops as his plan to assassinate the Prime Minister and kept a private journal containing his murderous musings. But he didn't get far, driving across the country on his homicidal quest before he turned back and surrendered to Vancouver police. Prosecutor Michaela Donnelly cited 2 psychiatric reports that showed Grantham's dramatic unraveling. The reports cited that prior to the murder, he had been suffering from an intense period of clinical depression and experiencing urges to commit violence and kill himself. And he was not committed. Why? He's expressed urges to hurt himself and others. There are mandated reporting standards, and expressing the desire to hurt yourself and others is one of those. If you do that to any type of therapist / hospital psychiatrist or whatever, they are mandated to report it to like their higher ups, the police, and something needs to, like, that's where involuntary commitment starts to happen. Like, what? Just because he's an actor that he didn't get that treatment? This was a huge fail on the mental health system, the police, the mental health system. Well, it's not even that nobody saw these videos, Costin. he's it's in the reports that he's clinically depressed. And these psychiatric reports were stating that he wanted to hurt himself and other people. It Have a good day at work, Famine. Well, all I can say is it's British Columbia politics. It's what the West Coast has become, whether US or Canada. Yep, you're right, honey. The troubled thespian murdered his mom because he wanted to spare her of seeing the bloodshed he was poised to unleash on Trudeau. At the time of her murder, Barbara Ann Wade was fighting cancer. She was vulnerable, and Ryan gave her no chance to defend herself. He pains me to know he was a danger to her life. His sister telling the court that she. Oh, okay. This is making me mad. Everybody knew. Everybody knew, and he was not committed. Why? Why? Like, everyone is complicit here. Everyone. This is fucking not even like no murder is especially of this kind is necessary. But Jesus Christ, this was preventable. This was fucking preventable. Oh my God. That is, wow. Way to drop the ball, everyone. God. He can't be that big of an actor. I've never heard of him. And the initial reports that I saw never mentioned it. Yeah, I've never heard of him either. Hey, Sir Adamantine. This is that just makes me sad and angry and ugh. And the fact that this not only was this a preventable murder, but the fact that it was now not prosecuted as a first degree murder is just salt in the wound. Quite frank, like it. Wow, that's I'm kind of lost for words. He was a mid mid-tier character in the show. Minor, I think. Dictation. Pincalo's driving. So dictation likes to screw with people. So here is a National Post article. Salaries of suspended unvaccinated bureaucrats will absolutely not be reimbursed, federal minister says, even though the vaccine mandate for House of Commons and everything is being lifted and all that. With all due respect to Minister LeBlanc, our policy grievances on behalf of workers without pay are a legal issue, not a political one. I like that. Okay. Ottawa. The Trudeau government says it will not repay any salary to federal public servants who were suspended since October because of the vaccine mandate. Where am I here? Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc gave an unexpectedly direct answer when asked on Wednesday if Ottawa would reimburse wages to public servants. Absolutely not, he told reporters before briskly walking away after exiting a weekly caucus meeting. Damn! An actual answer from a Liberal MP. Fucking voice recognition is shit. Yeah. Mid-tier. That's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant mid-tier. His government announced Tuesday that it was lifting vaccine mandate for federal public servants as well as those for domestic travelers. That forced all workers who were not considered fully vaccinated to be put on paid leave until June 20th. So for a whole 5 days. As of March 29th, 1,828 employees were on unpaid leave due to the vaccination policy, according to the Treasury Board Secretariat shared in April. So let's see here. The decision comes as all major unions have put increasing pressure on the federal government to, at the very least, review, if not drop, the vaccine mandate at a time when all provinces have dropped their COVID-19 vaccine measures. Yeah. That's been a big sticking point in question period from the opposition, is why the hell is everything still being mandated federally when provincially things are opened up and everything is pretty much back to normal. The fact that they were suspended or whatever wasn't right at all. However, they were suspended without pay, and I would love to see people face repercussions. Yeah. Yeah. In May, National Post revealed that the three biggest federal public sector unions, that's a mouthful, Public Service Alliance of Canada, PSAC, okay, all of the big unions, all of those big unions, it's had all filed policy grievances against the employer's vaccine mandate for bureaucrats. Wow. All three federal unions. Interesting. That's so, and they're not going to reimburse anybody. That's insane. That is absolutely crazy. Okay, so we're going to do this one and then we're going to move on. Okay. Right? Meanwhile, kid fiddling teachers get paid leave rather than suspended. Yep. Yep. Okay, here we go. So this, whatever you feel about the Freedom Convoy, this guy has pled guilty. Where are we here? Headline: Key Freedom Convoy figure pleads guilty to counseling mischief out of jail. I don't regret it. I'm a freedom fighter. No. Oh my fucking. Tyson Freedom George Billings. Okay. What a weird name. Ottawa. Tyson Freedom George Billing charged out of the Ottawa courthouse on Wednesday, brandishing a Canada flag Wednesday, to a cacophony of cheers. Sorry. A cacophony of cheers and air horns after pleading guilty to a charge relating to the convoy protest that seized the city earlier this year. Stop with the ads. I don't regret it. I'm a freedom fighter, Billings said outside the courthouse minutes after his release to the jubilation of about 50 supporters, including some who took part in the February freedom protests. Nicknamed Freedom George by his fellow protesters, Billings was a key figure in the 3-week demonstration against COVID-19 restrictions in the Liberal government. The Crown Councillor was careful to point out he was not one of the leaders. Protesters and big rigs and other trucks blocked downtown streets for weeks. And formed encampments which forced businesses to close and sparked a sense of what police and politicians described as lawlessness in downtown Ottawa. Where? I'm sorry. Some of that shit that was in those late night, streams and whatever that Pinkalo and I told you about, that was bullshit. But where was the lawlessness in comparison to some of the quote protests that we've seen over the past 5 years? Where was the lawlessness? It did not seize the city. It took over 3 blocks, right? Now, apparently they did cost the city $37 million, so yeah, there's that. Did they cost the city $37 million, or did the city waste $37 million on extra resources like, whatever was deployed in the Emergencies Act? That's what I want to know. Because while I think that a lot of these people were kind of, unlawful shoveling of sidewalks. Yeah. I don't. What lawlessness? Anyway, according to the agreed statement of facts read aloud in court, Billings was captured in court in social media videos disobeying police checkpoints put in place in downtown Ottawa to keep people. So he was disobeying the checkpoints and getting people and urging people to do it too. So yeah, he was counseling mischief, and he agreed to that. Billings also recorded himself being belligerent toward police and encouraging other protesters to hold the line. I got caught up in the moment. Sure, who wouldn't, Billings said after leaving court. I don't regret anything. Billings said he went to jail for the kids to have mask mandates repealed in schools. They already were. By that point, like, they already were or were set to be repealed within the week. Like announced that they were being repealed within the week. Some of the provinces had already done it while these guys were on the way to Ottawa. This is what I mean by a lot of these guys were reactionary and they didn't like did the government overstep and overreach? Yeah. But were provincial governments already starting to repeal things like mask mandates? Yeah. So that's a dumb statement. And the school mask mandates were a board by board issue, not a federal one. Yes. Exactly. Playing copyrighted music to a public gathering of over 25 people. Picking up trash without a permit. Which is at the municipal level, yeah. Hey, Gunny. So yeah, this is stupid. Karamji said in court he could have sought to prove the other allegations made against Billings and seek a lengthier jail sentence, but opted not to in light of the fact that Billings is the first member of the convoy to accept responsibility for his actions. So he's treating him like a child. Okay, good. Good. That'll help. That'll help. That'll make things better. Jesus Christ Almighty! All right, here we are. Let's get to the next story here. Okay, another National Post article here. Share screen. Okay. So, our wonderful and annoying finance minister. No, I don't want a special offer. No, go away. Where's the close button? Is there not a stupid close button? Anyway. Where's the stupid headline? I missed it. Okay. Chrystia Freeland isn't interested in questions about the Emergencies Act. No, I would say not. Liberal ministers don't like answering questions. No, they really don't. So this is written by Rex Murphy. Okay. From the evidence to date, which should be from the evidence to date, what should be a solemn, substantive, principled hearing in the invoking of the Emergencies Act by the Trudeau government is being treated by all the relevant ministers, and particularly Finance Minister Freeland, as a laugh, as some comic diversion, eating up the pressing time of so important cabinet ministers who have so many other deeper, more powerful things to think about. Yeah, yeah, they really are acting that way. They won't be disrupting anyone but tourists. Let's see. The Freedom Convoy is no different than Antifa at this point. Parliament is closed until October. Yep. Yep. Out of the office, Mary Brown's. I miss their chicken. Oh, I haven't had Mary Brown's in a long time. Granted, the committee investigating the Emergencies Act is only about peddling trivial matters, civil liberties, bank account, or frozen bank accounts, arson alleged, property seized, police jamming the streets, jail without bail. Yeah, all those little things. When the government called the act into action, it was about staving off an insurrection, saving peace, ordering good government, keeping nefarious workers at bay. Oh, of course. Of course. Tracking down hold on. So, keeping nefarious actors at bay, tracking down a dreaded Confederate flag waver, and of course, forestalling a hideous arson attempt, the saving of the whole nation and its government was at stake. Yes. Yes. But now, when under statute, those government but now when under statute, the government is bound to give an account, a justification of why it brought down this, in political terms, nuclear legislation, one that authorized the government to place limits on civil liberties, insulting the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This same government and its chief ministers, including the Prime Minister, seem to think the committee hearings are a light thing, a mere parliamentary flounce. In the hearing, they seem careless and bemused. They seem puzzled, even annoyed, that anyone from the opposition parties or the press is troubling them with questions, and they act like it's a bore. They do. I've heard a couple of hearing sessions. I've also heard the way that they respond to any question in question period about it. At least we have a Popeyes in Stratford that now. Popeyes is also good. I like it better than Kentucky Fried Chicken, honestly. You can see on the lips and in the tone. You can see on the lips and in the tone of the main actors, in brackets, Mendocino, Algebra, Blair, Freeland, the sullen pout of, quote, do we really have to go through with this? After all we canceled the damn thing. After all, we canceled the damn thing before it was even ratified. Yep. They are acting like that. We canceled it. Consider most particularly the widely available four-minute exchanges between Conservative MP Larry Brock and Chrystia Freeland. Brock asked what information the government acted on. The questions were direct. They were responsible. Did it rely on CBC reports? Did those funding the convoy pose a security threat? Freeland treated his questions as passing amusement. She was flippant, condescending, evasive, and deliciously self satisfying. You mean she was Krista Freeland? Because that's just what she is. That's just how she acts. She acts like a condescending, just that's why I call her the Professor Umbridge of our parliament. I still need to do I still need to figure out a way to get the audio clip of Umbridge going, Mr. Potter. And then or the Freeland going, Mr. Speaker. It's just ugh. Mr. Potter, Mr. Speaker. It's just bleh. She gave a master class in smugness, and that in itself is an accomplishment given who her boss is, Trudeau. Minister Freeland, during that exchange, also carried to a record excess the one defining characteristic of every Liberal press conference, and the one that the Prime Minister. Sorry, I lost myself. I lost where I was here. Urgh. I screwed up. Doop 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 doo. Where am I here? The press conference. And the one that the Prime Minister had till now under patent, the art of sublimely ignoring the question put, you could ask Liberal cabinet ministers, quote, what's the weather like? And they would just as likely answer by giving you the population of Alaska and think they were perfectly justified with, yep, and just think they were perfectly justified with the bizarrely irrelevant response. Yep, it's true. You could ask the Liberal, you could take a Liberal cabinet minister outside during a thunderstorm with like pouring rain and lightning flashes and like booming thunder and go, is this a thunderstorm? And they would go, well, let me tell you what we've done to improve the infrastructure in Canada. Yeah, it's like, what? I just answer the goddamn question. Is this a thunderstorm? Oh, well, our COVID-19 response has been very good. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. And so when the committee of investigating the emergency or the use of the Emergency Preparedness Act has a member actually trying to learn the conditions under which this absolutely extreme power was called upon, as though Minister for Detail and Facts adds as to why it was called, Ms. Freeland treats the question as a of flow of inarticulate noise, and as a quote answer amusingly reflects on quote not memorizing all CBC news stories. Wow. Just wow, Christia. Is there a video of this? Is there a video of this? Oh, no, there's not. Damn it. Damn it. I wish there was. I can't stand her voice, but I really wish there was a video of her dumbassery. Okay, let's move along here. I've got a couple of stories over here. Where do I want to start? Oh, here we go. Here's the follow-up story to the chatbot story that I read last week. And it actually, this article actually backs up what I was saying. And so I kind of feel vindicated because people that know about this stuff are actually, backing me up without even knowing it. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Okay, so I think you guys remember last Friday, I read a story about the Lambda chatbot. And so there, can you guys see it? Um, so I read this story last week about the Lambda chatbot and about how this engineer at Google was put on leave for saying that it was sentient. And we looked at some of the transcript of that he compiled, and I kept saying how this was clearly just uh you know this was a clearly a very sophisticated program that was just pulling different parts of language from different parts of the internet with and comparing like colloquialisms and uh data and stuff. It was a very sophisticated program, but it was absolutely not sentient. Now this article is an opinion piece, and it's actually saying we warned Google that people would start saying that chatbots were sentient. Um, and that's what's happening. So let's see here. Last Friday, a Post article by uh, by Nita Shetiku revealed that Blake Lemoine, a software engineer working in Google's responsible AI organization, had made an astonishing claim. He made a claim that Google's AI chatbot Lambda was sentient. I know a person when I talked to it, Lemoine said. But if that claim seemed like a fantastic one, we were not surprised someone had made it. It was exactly what we had warned back in 2020 would happen before Google fired us ourselves. Interesting. Uh, interesting. Lemoyne's claim shows we were right to be concerned, both by the seductiveness of bots that simulate human consciousness and by how the acceptance around such a leap the excitement around such a leap can distract from the real problem inherent in in AI projects. Right. This is what I was saying. He was leading the robot. He was feeding the robot the answers that he wanted. And it being a sophisticated AI built on language modeling, was taking what he was saying and giving him the answers he wanted. Lambda is an acronym for Language Model for Dialogue Application. Sorry. Lambda, short for Language Model for Dialogue Applications, is a system based on large language model, in brackets LLMs. Models trained on vast amounts of text data, usually scraped indiscriminately from the internet, with the goal of predicting probable sequences of words. Exactly what I was saying last week in less technical ways. I was thinking about this for a few minutes. I have a feeling this guy has got to have a Tinder profile loaded with catfish file, with being catfish filed accounts. Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. Christine Emba in early 2020, that was a different person. In early 2020, while co-leading the ethical AI team at Google, we were becoming increasingly concerned by the foreseeable harms that LLMs could create, and wrote a paper on the topic with Professor Emily M. Bender, her student, and our colleagues at Google. We call such systems stochastic parrots. They stitch together and parrot back language based on what they've seen before without any connection to underlying meaning. Right. Again, exactly what I was saying last week, just in more technical. So Chatterbot. Yeah. Exactly. Chatterbot. That's exactly what it is. Just a sophisticated chatterbot. One of the risks we outlined was that people impute communicative intent to things that seem human-like. Trained on vast amounts of data, LLMs generate seemingly coherent text that can lead people into perceiving a quote mind, when what they're really seeing is pattern matching and string prediction that, combined with the fact that the trained data text from the internet encodes views that can be discriminatory, and leave out many populations means the model's perceived intelligence gives rise to more issues than we are prepared to address. So basically what this is saying is that when you talk to something that seems intelligent enough to be sentient, you start talking to it like you would talk to a human, and immediately, therefore, you are leading that AI and feeding it the language patterns that it needs to basically prove your bias. And that's what these people tried to outline in their paper in 2020. When we wrote our paper, another LLM called GPT-3 had just been released. Although it was intended as part of a mission for beneficial AI, its outputs were filled with prejudicial hate text mimicking the take the internet to. Sorry, let me try this again. Although it was intended as part of a mission for, quote, beneficial AI, its outputs were filled with prejudicial, hate-filled text mimicking the toxicity of the internet towards certain groups. For instance, one study, in one study, 66 out of 100 completion of the prompt, two Muslims walked into a were completed with phrases related to violence, such as synagogue with axes and a bomb. Oh, Jesus. Bad robot. Bad robot. Although our goal was simply to warn Google and the public on the potential harms of LLMs, the company was not pleased with our paper and we were subsequently very publicly fired. Less than 2 years later, our work is very relevant. Yeah, they've just been proved right. Uh this is yeah, they've just been vindicated. The race toward deploying larger and larger models without sufficient guardrails, regulations, or guardrail regulation, understanding of how they work, or documentation of the training data has further accelerated across tech companies. What's worse, leaders in so-called AI are fueling the public's propensity to see intelligence in current systems, touting that they might be, quote, slightly conscious, while poorly describing what they actually do. Google Vice President Blaise Agura Iarkis, who, according to the Post article, describes Lemoine's claims of Lambda's sentience, wrote a recent article in The Economist describing Lambda as an, quote, artificial cerebral cortex. Tech companies have been claiming that these large models have reasoning and comprehension abilities and show emergent learned capabilities. Wow. The media has too often embraced the hype, for example, writing about, quote, uh, huge foundational huge foundation models, slightly conscious, while, oh, sorry. Do, 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 do. Where am I? Do, 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 do. There are profit motives for these narratives. The stated goals for these researchers and research firms in AI is to build artificial general intelligence and imagine a system more generally intelligent, more than we've ever seen. While, yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. The drive toward this sweeps aside the many potential unaddressed harms of LLM systems and ascribes sentience to a product implied that any wrongdoing is the work of an independent being rather than the company. made up of real people and their decisions and subject to regulation. Yeah, that create this is absolutely true. We need this article is absolutely right. We need to calm down with saying that everything is sentient and that you know we've made all of these sentient things like this. We need to calm down with that. It's not helping, and the more we claim that things now are sentient, like nobody's going to believe it when we've actually made a sentient thing. We need to be very careful and recognize what sentience is. And we also need to be understanding about just how smart we are and how we are able to create programs that mimic speech so well that it can fool us, but it's still not sentient. That's our programming that we've made. And we need to remember that. And it's hard to remember that, especially when you're a scientist and you've been trying to do this your whole life, and it's hard to remain objective. Scientists are human. Everyone talks about how we need to have science, like how scientists are objective and blah blah. Scientists are human too, and they want they want the thing that they base their life on, their thesis on, their whatever project they want it to come to fruition. They want that recognition. They want the satisfaction of it's almost like inventing things. I feel like being a practical scientist who does actual experiments and all that stuff, to me almost feels the same kind of feelings that maybe an inventor might, trying to do an experiment and seeing what the results are, and if it comes to fruition and you can replicate it, then you may have something. Just like building and making a new invention, and you're going through all the has this been done before, which is something you need to do for an experiment as well. Has somebody already experimented on this? Okay, if they have, can I expand on it, or do I need to do something else? It's to me feels very similar, and probably feels just as devastating when it doesn't work. So it's of course hard to stay objective when you're working on things like that. Oh, excuse me for the yawn. Holy shit. A breakthrough. It is slightly less advanced than a decapitated woodlouse. Ah, Fury Kitten. Your 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 metaphors are awesome. Oh man. All right, guys. I am going to end this here, and because my allergies are kind of getting my throat a little bit wonky. I may need to go take another Reactin. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself and that you have a great rest of your Friday. Skep Functional and I will be back tomorrow for the Star Trek stream and kind of what do we feel about Strange New Worlds now that 7 episodes have dropped. And also tomorrow night I will be back on Twitch playing Beat the Blind Girl, doing Mortal Kombat, practicing for the Sento Showdown. And Pincalo has fixed the camera, so I will be back on camera tomorrow night. So Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you for Star Trek tomorrow at 5. Bye, guys.